more for you, you feel it. You know it. This is your life, and it's time to go from contender to champion. This is The Show with John Madsen.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm your host, John Madsen. This is The Show. I am excited for today's episode. It is October 29th, 2020. What a wild year with COVID and all the bullshit. But this is the last episode before Election Day, which I'm not going to talk about too much in this episode, but it is an interesting thing with all that's gone on in 2020. And so I do want to talk about 2020 a little bit and my mentality moving forward and the mentality of winners moving forward compared to all the people who undoubtedly are going to lose their minds probably too. So we're going to get into all that stuff. Before that, once again, I always want to just commend you guys for listening. It's amazing to me to see how far this podcast is reaching in literally different countries, and it's amazing. So thank you guys for sharing. If you want to support the show, the best way to do that is to leave a 5-star review on iTunes, share it with somebody that you think needs it, and or go to the website, johnmadsen.com, subscribe, and also there's a shop. So if you like my brand, athletic as fuck, there's shirts, there's coffee mugs, there's all types of stuff. And so I'd love for you to go there and check it out. If you want a shirt or something, it'll be shipped to you. So yeah, that's about all the publicity I'm going to do for me personally. And I want to dig into this show. In my coaching call yesterday with all my clients that have hired me and my company, Athletic AF, to take them through a ridiculous fitness journey. And it's not that. I mean, if you've listened to the show for a long time, my company is not a fitness/nutrition company first. It's a mentality. It's a lifestyle. And that is where I think I've taken myself out of this fitness nutrition box, because it's not about the fucking macros. It's not about the workout. I geek out about that stuff. Like, I'm a strength and conditioning guy at heart. I have calluses on my hands 365 days of the year. I lift heavy shit and I fucking love it. And I think you should love it too, but it's not my place to tell you that. You got to want it. The reason we have such ridiculous transformations is because our coaching style understands, and I've understood this for a long time, based on experience and also some of the deep mindset work that I've done on myself. I understood really quickly that the mindset of a champion is different than the mindset of a contender. And so when I look at my life going from this 5-year-old kid who, if anybody ever asked me growing up, John, what are you going to do when you grow up? Professional athlete was the answer you were going to get, all the way through junior high school, all the way through high school. I didn't even play a single down of high school football because I thought I was too small. I've spent a lot of time on that story in the past. I still said that I was going to be a professional athlete. When scholarships did not come for any sport that I was playing, John, what are you going to do when you grow up? Professional athlete. I had that image in my mind. And I read this quote from William James, the pretty much the father of psychology. And let me see if I can find it in my phone for you guys, because I like to write stuff down. And it's amazing, right? It's this quote is everything. Act as though I am and I will be. Act as though I am and I will be. It's not I will be. It's not I will be. Act as though I am and I will be. The subconscious mind will bring to pass any picture held in the subconscious mind and backed by faith. The subconscious mind will bring to pass any picture any picture. So your subconscious mind thinks in terms of images and symbols. So any picture held in the subconscious mind and backed by faith. Over and over and over again, repetition. When I was a young kid, I'd be out on the field, I'd be out on the court, I'd be shooting baskets in freezing cold winters with gloves on, shooting an icy basketball. I'd play these games in my head like I was playing against Michael Jordan or Magic Johnson or John Stockton. I would go in the backyard and I'd play like I was Ken Griffey Jr. I'd go out in the backyard and I'd play like I was Jerry Rice. And I literally could put myself in this imaginative, like visual, like I think about the practice that I did. And I don't know if other kids do this. I teach kids to do this, but I would visually be playing against my heroes. 3, 2, 1, buzzer beater, nail it, throw my hands up in the sky. Nobody's around. If you were watching me like through the window and I was the only kid on the court, I'd be playing these games with like pump fakes, like somebody was really guarding me. And I'd hit that game winner and I'd run around with my finger held in the sky like I'm number one. All through, don't you think that that image over and over and over again was planted in that subconscious mind and backed by undeniable faith? So there was a time frame, and I was telling my clients this yesterday, there was a time frame where if I look back, I could be like, that makes sense. That makes sense. I implanted my subconscious by watching and visualizing and thinking. Serena Williams' dad, there's a Nike commercial one time, and he was telling her that she was going to play at Wimbledon, literally embedding suggestion into that young unconscious mind. As a 2 and 3 and 4-year-old, you're going to play at Wimbledon one day. Mike Tyson, he had Cus Otto, the trainer that took him under his wing, and the dude was a hypnotist. And over and over again, he told him he was going to be a world champion until he believed it. You see, these words, and I've had podcast after podcast after podcast telling you how powerful these words are, how powerful your thoughts are, how powerful this imagery is. It's incredible. But for a little while, I lost that. When I got cut, I went through this period where instead of me hitting the game-winning shot, I remember being in the huddle, and it's not like this is a long, thought-out process. If you've ever experienced this, I was in the huddle, and in a flash, I would see myself breaking a defender off and then running a perfect route and then dropping the ball. And every single time I dropped the ball, my confidence shatters. Next thing I know, I'm on a plane ride home, and that was the end of my NFL career at 27 years old. I jumped right into this other career where I wanted to create champions in the weight room. I knew back then that it was all in their mind. I knew, and then I went on this journey like, I got to figure my shit out. How did I lose confidence so quickly? How did I make it without ever doing X, Y, and Z? Right? And for a long time in business, I was convinced that my problems and my success was dictated by my circumstance. My circumstance was the thing that was dictating how I felt. Until I was 35 years old and my paradigm completely shifted and got shattered. And I realized that the external world is simply a projection of what I'm feeling inside. So I went from external back to internal, and I poured everything I had inside of me. I literally rewired my brain. And I realized that how I felt, that emotional state, was projecting outward to the people I met, the situations that would arrive, the synchronicities that would play out, the people that I would meet that would introduce me to somebody else, that would introduce me to somebody else, and that I'd manifest at a level that was undeniably fast, and where people would look at me and look at this ascension of my company and me personally and go, holy shit, how are you doing that? And the thing that I want everyone to know is, yes, it's manifestation, but it was created by certainty. Certainty. See, one of my, in the coaching group, one of my coaches posted this Instagram photo, and he said, go out in the world today as if you were a 4-year-old wearing a Batman costume. Go out to the world today with the confidence of a 4-year-old in a Batman costume. If you can picture that, I remember having a Hulk costume or a Ninja Turtle costume. I put that shit on when I was 6 years old, and I could do anything. You see, the result that you want that you're not getting is simply due to your fear and your lack and your doubt. Doubt and worry and fear are the things that are completely holding you back. I listened to a podcast with Kanye West and Joe Rogan, and it was fucking phenomenal. And some people's like, Kanye's crazy, but they're not getting it. They're literally not getting it. The stuff that he says in that interview is so fucking deep that they're not getting it. He won't say certain words. He only speaks as if it is going to happen with certainty in his heart. And everyone could be like, he's crazy, right? Because the crazy ones are crazy enough to believe in their own shit. No matter how much we're programmed by the TV and the news and your parents and your church and your schools, no matter how much programming, there's certain individuals that say at a certain point, fuck that, I believe in me. I know who the fuck I am. And everybody else looks at them like they're crazy until they're not. Steve Jobs, you can go down the list, all the great ones, right? All the great ones, all of your favorite athletes, all the ones that are going to go down into the Hall of Fame, all of the business people you look up to, all of your mentors who you listen to. You know what they have, and you know the reason why you feel compelled to follow them? Because they have certainty in their heart. And they have so much certainty in their own ability, they're not afraid of anything. They're not afraid anymore. I heard this metaphor or analogy, whichever one it is, where someone says that a bird perched on a tree branch, the bird's confidence is not in the fact that the branch won't break. See, the bird is not putting its confidence into something outside of itself. The bird's confidence comes from the fact that it has fucking wings. The bird knows if the branch breaks, it'll just fly. It's fine. So how do I tie this back into today? Well, we're going to have this election, and either Donald Trump is going to win and 50% of the people are going to be ecstatic and 50% of the people are going to lose their fucking minds, or Joe Biden's going to win and 50% of the people is going to act like they won the goddamn championship, and then the other 50% of the people is going to put their head in the sand and lose their fucking minds, right? That's all anyone's talking about. And people are glued to their fucking TVs. Like this one thing is going to decide the rest of their life. And it is a big election. No doubt. No doubt. But you know what I'm going to do? No matter what, no matter who wins, no matter if my guy wins or loses. If November 3rd, what is that? November 3rd is on a Tuesday. So next Tuesday, election day, and then Wednesday comes, and regardless if we know who wins or doesn't win, guess what? There's going to be a whole bunch of people who are going to go through this drama of our country for the next 30, 60, 90 days, and they're going to take to the streets, and they're going to be glued to the TVs, and they're going to wonder what the hell happened, and what this COVID thing is, how it's going to be handled by, whoever is in office. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm literally going to come back on Wednesday, and I'm going to jam out on my business, and I'm going to coach the fuck out of my clients, and I'm going to hit the gym and work on my body, and I'm going to get up at 5 a.m. and do victory hour and read and meditate and journal. And I'm going to do the same shit that I've done every single day in 2020 that has gotten me to where I am today. And I'm going to continue to have my full foot on the gas, going full throttle forever. Because like the bird on the tree, my confidence is not in Joe Biden. My confidence is not in Donald Trump. My confidence is not in whether the economy is good or bad. My confidence is in my ability to create regardless what's going on in the external world. See, I'm in the fitness industry. You could put me in the fitness industry box. And in the fitness industry, gyms were going out of business. Gym owners were going crazy. Gym owners were getting shut down by local governments. Gym owners were losing their businesses. And what I did in a time where in my industry, shit was not good for 90% of the people, I just focused and doubled down. I focused and doubled down and had my best months that I've ever had. March, and then the better month was April, and a better month was May, and a better month was June, and a better month was July, and a better month was August, and a better month was September, and a better month is October, and a better month is going to be November. And regardless who wins the fucking presidency, a better month's going to be December and January and February. Because like the bird on the branch, I don't give a shit about the branch. I know what's in my heart. I know who I am. And so every single one of you, if I could give you one gift, it would be the gift of true freedom. Like the gift of being an eagle in a world full of ducks. And by ducks, I mean the people who have been programmed by media, the people who have been programmed by their parents, the people who have been programmed by their churches, the people who have been programmed by the schools, programmed to stay in a line, programmed to fly in a V, programmed to think without even thinking, programmed to vote for whoever their parents voted for whoever their parents voted for whoever their church voted for, programmed to not even have this idea of who the fuck they really are inside. You see, the difference of a duck and an eagle is the eagle knows who the fuck they are. The eagle is going to soar above, and the eagle is going to do what they do based on how they feel and how they think. And they're going to actually think about that stuff and know what they stand for and what they stand against. And not only that, but why. So they're going to have their own ideas. And they're going to have so much confidence within themselves that no matter what happens, they're still going to soar above everybody else who's worried about every single other thing. So I couldn't think of a better topic going into next week. As you guys listen to this, you get to decide. You get to decide. Are you going to be a duck glued to your fucking TV screen and being programmed, whether it's Fox News or CNN, and just continuously being programmed and worried about, COVID and this disease and instilling fear and doubt into yourself? Or are you finally going to find that certainty within? And if you are going to find that certainty within, you have to start knowing who you are. How do you do that, John? How do you do that? See, Tony Robbins is one of my mentors and has been a mentor. And one of the most famous things that he's ever said that I heard him say, but I never really fully grasped how important it was, is when he says the quality of your life is going to be dictated by the quality of your questions. You see, I used to go to these seminars, and I used to think that if I went to this seminar or I hired this mentor, that this mentor or seminar was going to give me the answer. Or if I listened to the podcast, it was going to give me the answer. Or if you're driving in your car right now, if you listen to John's going to give you the answer. That's not true. What I finally figured out a couple years ago, or even last year, is that by hiring these people or going to these seminars or reading the book, all it's doing is opening myself up, because the answer is already inside of me. The answer that you're looking for is inside of you, but you can't get to it until you start asking yourself the right questions. And that starts with a big question on the top of your page today that says, who the fuck am I? Who am I? I'm not a former football player. I'm not a podcaster. I'm not a coach. You aren't what you do. But who are you, really? I want you to literally go, and when you get a piece of paper, write those words. Something magical happens when you take pen to paper. You elicit this subconscious. Who am I? And then you can go deeper. What do I stand for? What do I stand against? And you cut out anything that you believe that you don't feel in your heart. And you start to ask yourself those questions over and over and over again. And you stop caring what another single person on the planet thinks. Because you're so certain and you're so confident in your own heart, it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you criticize me. It doesn't matter if you praise me. It doesn't matter if you hate this podcast or if you love it. I'm neutral. I want you to love it, but I'm neutral. It's not going to inflate my ego, or I'm not going to let you cut me down with criticism. When you do that, you ascend. When you do that, you're not afraid of what your wife thinks. You're not afraid of what your kids think. You're not afraid of what your brother thinks or your mother thinks. You're not afraid of what your neighborhood thinks. You literally are you, and you're one of the people that can plant a flag in the ground and say, this is me. And when you do that, you master influence, you master persuasion, because everybody's waiting for a leader to be certain. Everybody wants to follow that person. Everybody wants that person to help them find themselves. So if I had any piece of advice, no matter what happens next week or next year or wherever, is to be like the bird on the branch with the confidence within, not on anything outside of you.
Thank you so much for joining us for another amazing episode of The Show with John Madsen. The greatest compliment that you could give us is liking, loving, and sharing this episode with all of your friends. So please go to iTunes, leave us a 5-star rating and review, and then share it online with everyone that you know. Make sure to tag John as well. He loves to hear from listeners of the show. The links for all of his socials and iTunes are in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to engage John for anything related to his coaching, consulting, or programs, please visit johnmadsen.com for everything you'd need to know on how to engage with John offline. And lastly, thank you for your time, your attention, and your consideration. This is The Show.